When I was in the first grade, I got inappropriately touched by another student that was a classmate of mine. Preston, you know who you are. This was a very traumatic experience for me, mostly because it happened in a very public setting and it wasn't something that was just between him and I. Like, I didn't want it. Don't get me wrong, I was in first grade. That robbed me of my innocence. But going through that experience in a public setting just made it so much more worse. And I'm going to tell you guys about it. We were sitting at lunch in the cafeteria, and I don't know how lunch tables are these days, but we had like a very long table that folded up in the center, and then there was these little dots that were seats around on the outside edge of the like long rectangle table. I was a girl that packed her lunch. My parents packed my lunch for me. And he was a kid that went through the line and bought his lunch at the cafeteria. So I'm already sitting down at lunch, eating my sandwich, when Preston came and sat beside me and his friends sat across from us. Honestly, I was a pretty quiet and shy student, so I didn't have many interactions with barely anybody in my class. Being a military kid and moving a bunch during that time of my life kind of made me like an outsider, kind of like a loner, because I went to school in a smaller town and everybody pretty much knew everyone to some degree. At least if you lived in this part of town, you kind of knew everyone. This part of town, you kind of knew everyone. And here me, I barely know anyone. On top of that, this is my first year at this school. And I can just remember it happening. Preston rubbed his hand up and down my thigh, which maybe isn't a big deal to many people, but that was such a big deal to me. I hadn't been kissed. I was into boys. I was in first grade. And while that was happening, while he was rubbing his hand up and down my thigh, his friends were sitting across from us laughing, and they were all laughing. Preston was laughing, they were laughing. They thought this was a funny moment. It was all so embarrassing for me. And then I had to relive it again the next day because I went home and told my mom about it. And the next day I had to go and tell the principal what happened. Side note, nothing ever happened to Preston.